Hello to all, welcome to the channel Cloud Knowledge. Today in this video we'll study about a scenario in data flow transformations of Azure Data Factory where the input data will be in the form of XML and we have to convert it to CSV. So as you can see on the screen, we have a sample XML.xml file placed inside the Cloud Knowledge containers in one of the folder, and the content of the XML is like it has the root element catalog and is storing books related data. Sub-element is having book ID. There are different book IDs in this document, XML document, and these unique book IDs have different details of the book: author, title, genre, price, etc. Okay, so we are gonna take this sample XML as the input data in the data flow transformation of ADF and then convert it to CSV where the columns will be ID, author, title, genre, price, date, description. So the data from this books element of the XML should be stored in the form of columns and the values as rows. This is what we are going to accomplish in this video. So let's go to the data factory. Here we are in the ADF Cloud Knowledge data factory. We'll go to the author section. We'll start creating the pipeline. Click on new pipeline. Let's name this pipeline as XML to CSV. We'll take from the move and transform the data flow in the canvas. Next is we'll go to the settings of the data flow. Click on plus new to create a new data flow, which will again be named as data flow XML to CSV. In the data flow, we have to add the source. I assume you're aware of the basics of data factory and the data flow transformation, as well as the flatten transformation, which we are going to use next. So we'll click on add source. In the source, the first tab is the source settings tab, where we'll connect to the data set. We'll click on plus new. The data lies inside the Cloud Knowledge container, which is a storage account, Gen2 storage account. So we'll go back here. From the different data sets, we'll select Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2. We'll click on continue. Then we have to select the source format. That in our case is XML. So we'll select among the different options XML. We'll click on continue. The name, we'll leave it as is. Link service we already have to the storage Gen2 account, which is Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2. If you don't have it, just create one. Next is the file path. File path will browse to the XML input folder. Here is the XML input container where we have the file stored as sample xml.xml. So we'll select this file, click OK. Looks fine. We'll click OK. Now the data set is selected here. Next is the source options. We need not make any change here. Next is the projection, optimize, inspect, data preview. So in order to preview the data, we have to turn on the data flow debug mode, which is present at the top. Just enable it. Click OK. Data flow debug. Cluster is getting ready. Let's wait for some time until the data flow debug option is ready. So the data flow debug option is lit. So the cluster is ready here. And now we can click on refresh in the data preview. So the data is fetched. It shows the catalog as the root element, then the books as the array element, and book is having book 1, 2, 3 till 12, and this book is having different properties here. Okay, now we'll go to the projection tab and import projection here. So this option was disabled when data flow debug option was not enabled. Once this data flow debug option is enabled, we could see import projection option is also enabled. Now in the projection tab, we could see the column name and the type. Catalog is shown with type as complex, and if we open it, it shows books, which is again complex array, and then it has the different elements or the properties and their types are shown here. Next, we have to add the flatten transformation. I assume you have knowledge about flatten transformation, which is a data formatter. It is present under the section formatters and the name is Flatten. We'll select this transformation. You can check about this Flatten transformation in the data flow playlist on my channel, as well as you can try to see the official documentation of Data Factory by Microsoft here and read the details about it. It is used to take array values inside hierarchical structures such as JSON to unroll them into individual rows. This is called denormalization. The configuration is shown, unroll by, unroll root, etc. The details you can read or you can go to the video. So we are now having the flatten transformation in the canvas. The first tab is the flatten settings. Output stream name, description, incoming stream will be as is. Important setting is this unroll by, which is used to choose the array in your data to flatten. In our case, the array is, if you go back to the source transformation, books. Okay, under the catalog, we have books, which is having the complex array type as a data type. So we'll go back here, just go here and select book. Catalog dot book. The symbol is of array. Okay. Unroll root, will leave it as is. Important thing to note is that in the drop down, the values are showing up because at the source level we have imported the projection. If the projection is not imported at the source level, we won't be able to see the options here in the drop down. So better to import projection at the source level by enabling the data flow debug option. Next is the input columns. So the first input column is shown as the catalog. We need not take that. We just want the ID. So we'll select the ID. Catalog book, from the book array, take the ID. And from the root element catalog, from the books array, ID. And then we want to name it as in the CSV ID. Cool. We'll add another mapping. The mapping will be fixed mapping. It will be, so after ID, we have author. We'll select that. So it will show up catalog, book, and author. The name will be author. Let the name be author. After author, we have description. Then after description, we'll add another mapping for the next genre, another mapping, price, add another fixed mapping, publish date. So we'll select title. Okay. ID, author, description, genre, price, publish date, and title. Looks fine. We'll go to the optimize tab. We'll leave it as is, inspect as is, and then the data preview. We'll click on refresh and wait for the data to be fetched. So the data is fetched. We could see here the columns and the values. The different properties of the books array are here displayed as column, name, and the values here in the form of rows. Okay, this looks fine. Now we'll attach the sync. So we'll click on plus after the flatten transformation, select the destination as sync. In the sync tab, that is the first tab of the sync transformation, we'll select the data set. We'll land it into storage Gentoo account as a delimited text CSV. Click continue. We'll select the link service. We'll select the file path. We want to land it into the same input folder, XML input folder. Click OK. Click OK. First tab settings is done. We'll go to the settings tab of the sync transformation. Here we'll select the file name option as output to single file, which will enable the set single partition on, and we have to give the name of the output file. The output file name, let's name it as XML CSV parsed.csv. Any name of your choice you can give. This looks fine. Now validate the mapping. It's validated. We'll publish the changes and we'll go to the pipeline and perform a debug run. So we'll click on debug. We could see here in the output tab of the pipeline, the fourth tab, data flow 1 is in progress. Let's wait for its completion and then we'll go to the storage Gentoo account in that container and search for the output file. So the pipeline or the data flow finally succeeded. We'll go to the storage account. We'll close the sample XML and we'll click on refresh. Because we have given the same container location, we could see XML CSV pass.csv is created here. We'll click over it. We'll click on edit. And we can see the data here. We'll download the file. We'll open the CSV. So we could see here the data from the XML has been converted to CSV using the Flatten transformation. Hope you would also try it and let me know if you face any issue. Thank you for watching this video. Happy learning. Bye.